In 2021, millions of Americans lost their employment or were forced out of their jobs due to government vaccine mandates. In addition, thousands of other employees died or became disabled. Consequently, America is now in absolute anarchy, and essential services are failing everywhere. If a similar mandate is imposed in the UK and many European countries, essential services will be affected, and there might be anarchy. This is what happens when millions of workers disappear from the system.
We were warned that this would happen. In 2021, millions of Americans either quit their jobs or were forced out of their positions because of various mandates that were implemented all over the country. And as I discussed earlier this week, countless other workers either died or became incapacitated last year. As a result, our society is descending into a state of utter chaos. Basic services are breaking down all around us. Let me give you a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about. On Sunday, a man in St. Louis called 911 because his brother needed to go to the hospital, and it took 10 hours for the ambulance to get there. Jesse Shaw said his older brother, Wilbert, is now in the hospital, fighting for his life. Shaw said his brother woke up in so much pain he couldn't move. If I called 911 and it took an ambulance 10 minutes to come, I would be greatly upset. Can you imagine waiting for 10 hours? That is crazy. Shaw said he rushed over to his brother's apartment and called 911 about 2 p.m. He was hoping to see an ambulance soon after that, but ended up waiting for hours. An hour passed, 2 hours passed, 3 hours passed, Shaw said. I called back just to make sure. Maybe they had the wrong address or something. They said they had the right address, but just didn't have any vehicles available at the moment. Staffing shortages are affecting EMT services nationwide. In Illinois, the Gillespie Bend Area Ambulance Service said it's experiencing the same issue. The problem we have right now is that there's just a lack of people, said Josh Ross, the director for the Gillespie Bend Area Ambulance Service. He said the long wait times are mostly due to a widespread shortage of EMTs and paramedics. There was always a good crop of paramedics and EMTs coming out of class. They were eager to get experience and work through the cycle. Right now, we don't have that. Enrollment is way down, Ross said. We're really reaching a breaking point where you're gonna see people pick up the phone and call 911 for an emergency, and it's gonna be, we're gonna get to you when we can get to you. And that's tragic, Ross admitted. It's just that they didn't have enough workers to operate them. Sadly, some people that actually get to the hospital on time end up dying in our emergency rooms. A few days ago, one of my readers emailed me about what's happening in her area, and she said that I could share this with all of you. Hi, Michael, I hope you're well. Just wanted to share experiences where I work. I've worked for the same doctor for over 30 years, and I work next to a hospital. 2 people died in the waiting room in the past week of the ER. The wait is 12 to 24 hours. My neighbor was stuck in ER for 3 days because of no beds. A 12-hour wait in an emergency room is inexcusable. But this is what happens when you force thousands upon thousands of hospital workers out of their jobs in the middle of a major national health crisis. Of course, every industry is being hit hard by the trends we are witnessing, and it's getting worse with each passing month. 4.5 million more Americans quit their jobs in November, and Mike Rowe is warning that every single American will be affected as multitudes of highly qualified people leave their posts. Fox Business personality and How America Works narrator Mike Rowe cautioned that every single American will feel the effects from the record number of U.S. workers quitting their jobs. This is a conversation about our workforce and the imbalanced nature of it. and the way that's going to impact every single American who shares my addiction to smooth roads, indoor plumbing, affordable electricity, and so forth, Rowe told Fox Business's Stuart Varney. The job loss report comes nearly 1 month after U.S. job openings data hit 11 million for October, nearing a record high. When basic services break down, we all suffer. According to Rowe, he has never seen anything like this. I've heard from the energy industry, the flooring industry, the restaurant industry, the cable and broadband industry. They're all struggling with the same basic problem. That problem, Rowe believes, is how to make a persuasive case for opportunities that exist within blue-collar industries. That, interestingly, is one of the few things that we can control, he explained. We need to explain to kids that working with your hands, learning a skill that's in demand, can still lead to prosperity. I've never seen anything like this either, but I specifically warned that this was coming. I warned my readers repeatedly that all of these absurd mandates would cause widespread chaos, and that is exactly how it is playing out. So what is the federal government going to do about this crisis? Well, apparently yet another stimulus package is being prepared. The Washington Post, Tony Romm, first reported that lawmakers from both parties were in talks about potentially proposing to pump billions into businesses, including hard-hit ones like restaurants. The Post reported that Senators Ben Cardin, a Democrat from Maryland, and Roger Wicker, a Mississippi Republican, who are reportedly leading the talks, had put together a $68 billion proposal in December. We started with restaurants, but we're prepared to expand it if we can have the necessary support, Cardin told reporters on Wednesday. There's other industries that have legitimate concerns. He said that lawmakers are looking at how much is needed for the restaurant fund. In May 2021, the White House opened the Restaurant Revitalization Fund for applications, with $28.6 billion from the American Rescue Plan up for grabs. They received 186,000 applications in the first 2 days alone. Throwing more money at the problem won't bring back the workers that were sent packing because of the mandates. And throwing more money at the problem certainly won't bring the workers that have died back from the dead. But it will cause more inflation. As I have detailed over and over again in recent months, the price of just about everything is shooting up dramatically. Unfortunately, our big spending politicians just can't help themselves. Whenever they hear about a new problem, their solution is always to pile on more debt and more spending. Some of the biggest companies in America have already announced huge price increases for 2022, and this is just the beginning. For example, the maker of Oreos and Ritz crackers have announced that all of their prices will be going up 6 to 7% next year. Other food producers will be implementing much larger price increases. When the Wall Street Journal reported that Kraft Heinz would be lifting prices by as much as 20% in 2022, that definitely alarmed a lot of people. So things are only going to get worse for the millions of U.S. families that are financially stressed because of rising inflation. According to a study that was recently released, the average American now worries about their finances 6 times a day. Budgets are tighter for millions of people with 2022 in full swing. Being money conscious is nothing new for many of us, but new research shows the average American worries about their finances 6 times a day. The poll of 2,000 adults to uncover how people feel about their finances also finds millennials are more focused on their finances than any other generation. Overall, respondents agreed that millennials, 30%, Generation Z, 22%, are better at managing their finances than their Generation X, 14%, and Baby Boomer, 18% counterparts. Additionally, millennials are the most optimistic, 78%, about where their finances will be in 10 years, while boomers are the least optimistic, 57%. The level of worry is only going to increase as the cost of living continues to rise much faster than paychecks do. And of course, all of this is setting the stage for the sort of horrific inflationary meltdown that I have long warned about. If you want to know who is responsible for this giant economic mess, it is our leaders in Washington. Their policies created the worker shortage that we are now facing. And their policies created the rampant inflation that we now see all around us. In 2022, I'm sure they'll find even more ways to royally mess things up. We're starting to reap what we have sown, and it isn't gonna get any easier from here.
Please leave your comments below on what you think. Also, please like or dislike the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be notified when we post new videos. Thank you.